Hello friends, Dwarkanath here. Hope you have been watching my videos on Do as Leaders Do series. In my last video, I had spoken on interpersonal skills and how strategic leaders make use of essence of interpersonal skills and apply to team dynamics. The topic which I am going to speak now is on communication with respect to strategic leadership. Before we go to the topic, we can take a overview on communication. Friends, communication has come a very long way. Think of ancient times when people used to run and deliver the message. People used to go on horseback and deliver the message. People used to make use of pigeons and send the messages. Later on in the modern times came the paper, print media and the present electronic media. It has come a very long way. Talk of method of communication, the verbal communication, non-verbal communication, written communication and digital communication, which we are all using now, has been the types still followed, in addition to some of the modes like coded messages and wartime messages, which is used in the military. And then we have also heard of ham radio and so many other equipments where people have been using for communication. Communication in its simple definition earlier was, it was a process to transfer information, ideas from people to people. But presently when you look at it, we can say communication is from people to people, people to machineries, people to electronic devices, people to sensing devices and so many other things. We have been hearing about artificial intelligence, Internet of Things and so on. Well, now let me come to the main topic, that is communication with regard to strategic leadership. Here I would like to add 4 important points to the theories and models which have been contributed to the management studies on this communication skills. We know the model of Shannon-Weaver, which was first introduced in 1948. Later on it was expanded by David Barlow in 1960 and then by W. Sham in 1973. These models basically focused on sender, encoding, selecting a channel and then decoding, receiving, feedback as it was there in the Shannon-Weaver model, and then of course certain aspects as thought by David Barlow, like the sender and the receiver. Both should have the same level of knowledge, skill, attitude and social skills to understand the content of the communication and act on it. So considering this David Barlow's model, we can also think of adding 4 more points, like being resilient to the situation, turnover time, ethics and transparency. I think if we address these 4 areas, the communication can be much more effective. These days it is needless to say, during the COVID pandemic, how organizations have suffered in delaying to adopt to latest communication systems, digital systems. There have been many drawbacks, loopholes, technical snags, of course, that have been brought to a controlled level now. But in the earlier stages of COVID pandemic, people have suffered it, except people, those who are into information technology or into pharmacy or medical lines and other people. Then next one is the turnover time. When you talk of this turnover time, you can think of situation in the airport where the communication takes place between the air traffic controller and pilots and navigators who are in the air or about to take off. You can think of situation where Earth station people communicate to people those are in the spacecraft, military operations, and then you can think of generic situations like a training session. For example, a mentor is handling his or proteges. Or this type of situation, time difference is there. The time taken for communicating information from air traffic controller to pilot has to be in fraction of seconds, and that has to be accurate. There is no chance of ambiguity there. Similarly, other actions also where SOS situations are there. So the strategic leaders can seriously consider this point and act upon it, keeping in view the overall transformation of the organization, overall transformation of the leaders, sub-leaders and the team members, their own goals, and try to collaborate with them rather than giving strict instructions through communication systems by adopting technical language. They can also be slightly generic. Then comes this ethics and transparency part of it. Ethics is most important because organizations have to sustain businesses. It cannot take risk. I can quote some of the examples where automobile giants have manipulated the microchips and met with the UU standards to meet with the emission standards, and that has brought them into a big loss. Such things cannot happen. That was only one example, and there are so many other examples also where organizations have failed to change the business model as and when required and communicate it to the team members handling the project. So these four things, including the transparency, are very important for communication systems to be introduced. With that, I wish to conclude this, and please refer to Shannon-Weaver model, David Bellows model, and W. Schramm's model. For more details upon this, please feel free to comment. I'll be happy to interact with you. Please like and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for your time. Keep watching. In my next video, I'll be talking on team dynamics, team building and team dynamics both. Thank you so much.